only good bug is a dead one.
Warning. Attempted breach of security barrier by unidentified being. Recalibrate ID harness before entering field.
This thing has some kind of mechanical harness. Wearing this harness, perhaps they'll think I'm one of them. It's worth a try.
ID confirmed. Drone guard class, Sector 7. Proceed. Drone guard class not permitted within the Queen's chamber. Entry denied.
Crap. A handsome young Cyclops. I hope he can help me.
By the Makers! Grimwall! You're Grimwall! But what are you doing here? Why have you returned to us? I thought Gromna had everything under control.
Grimwall? Is that my name? I don't remember much. Just waking up in this hive and having to battle a few insectoids. I had to use this strange device that I found on the large one, just to pass their security forces.
It's an ID harness. Gromna built them for the insectoids since they lost their sight. With that on, you look like another bug to them. That's why they're not swarming all over you. Look, my name is Graven. We need to talk more. But until the work slows down, I'm stuck here. Afterwards, I'm going back to my pod. We can meet there. My pod's globe code is Grenisser. Use it if you need to get in there for anything.
This monster is also half machine. It's some kind of alien child with 2 eyes and 2 arms. Who are you?
TikTok. Cybernet technician.
What is your function?
To integrate cybernetic enhancements to the flesh.
Who designed these robotics?
Gromna, honorable assistant to Her Majesty.
I require my ID harness to be upgraded.
Upon whose authorization will I grant this procedure? You delay in your response. I am busy. Return when you can produce the proper authorization.
An insectoid pincher. The edges are sharp. A defense mechanism for Greven's pod.
Password.
Renaissir.
Enter.
Wonder if Graven has any good crystals.
And now, our breaking story this evening. During a helicopter sweep in the search for another missing child in the troubled remote community of Warrendale, authorities were startled to discover what appears to be a gigantic insect hive attached to Mount Cyteria close to the ancient mechanical ruins. Details are sketchy at this point, but some sources have estimated that the visible portion of the hive is only a small part of the greater whole. More details on this breaking story as it develops. In an attempt to halt the infestation of the insect horde that is sweeping across our nation, leading entomologist Gromna will lead a team to infiltrate and examine the ever-growing hive. When asked why he was risking his own life on this mission, Gromna simply replied that he was willing to sacrifice anything to stop the infestation. When he heard the news, President Agris said, "Gromna is truly a great man, and we all wish him much success." Today, the nation breathed a collective sigh of relief as word from Gromna finally reached our closest outpost to the hive. Gone for months and presumed dead, it turns out that Gromna's team is not only alive, but they have found a method to slow the Horde's infestation. Remaining near the Hive, the team will continue their research in an attempt to stop the Horde.
Hi, Graven. I guess you're not in. You must be out helping Gromna save the world or something. I just wanted to tell you that I love you, and I miss you. And I really look forward to you coming back to me soon. Goodbye, sweetheart.
Graven's tools. A sledgehammer should come in handy.
Not so many. Slow down. Too many and the machine will overheat.
They're dropping Cyclopean babies into the furnace. This insect is hooked up to a machine, and the levers must control the furnace. The insects are pumping a bellows to control the furnace. A sledgehammer.
Drones, stop the bellows. Seal the pipe. To continue pumping with that damage would overheat the furnace.
With that bug gone, I can reach the controls. I'll shut down this abominable furnace. This is more complex than I imagined. There appear to be many controls, all interrelated. Genocide today, monster. No more embers will be delivered now. I'm certain I'll find Graven resting in his pod. The mechanized arm survived the fire. I wonder if it can be used against them beasts.
There you are. I was beginning to get worried. I thought something terrible might happen to you at the furnace. Especially since your memory is gone.
No, I don't remember much of anything. I wouldn't even know my own name if you hadn't told me.
Every Cyclopean child knows the name of Grimwall. You're the great hero of the War of the One.
War of the One? Can you tell me about it?
Oh my. You are confused, aren't you? The War of the One was a pivotal point in the history of our people. For years, we had fought the insectoids, neither side gaining ground as the planet was ravaged by countless battles. The Makers, creators of all and of nothing, watched silently for many years before taking action. They spoke to the leaders of both sides through grand visions, declaring that there was to be one final battle for supremacy. The victor would rule the planet, and the defeated race would be forced underground, never to return to the surface again.
We won?
Yes, thanks to you. You destroyed nearly a third of the troops, all by yourself.
If we won, then why are these things back above ground?
No one really knows. Actually, no one really believed the story of the War of the One, or thought that there were any insectoids. Until now.
That evil machine will be silent for a while.
Evil? It's just a furnace, isn't it?
The thing was burning children, Graven. Cyclopean children.
What? But how can this be? Gromna would never allow such a thing to happen.
Gromna? That's the name the bugs were using at the furnace. They said he's giving the orders to burn the children's bodies.
That's absurd. He's my mentor. A brilliant entomologist. He'd never...
What?
Entomologist. He's our foremost specialist on insects. That's why the Peace Council chose him for this mission.
Mission? What mission? What the hell is going on here?
We were sent here to examine this hive a few months ago. We were captured, but Gromna convinced the Queen to put aside her plans of conquest and negotiate a peace treaty. Since then, it's been peaceful for both sides. In fact, tomorrow is the day that both leaders will meet to sign the treaty.
I tell you it's true, Graven. Something is terribly wrong here, and I think that this Gromna person is somehow involved. You must help me.
I'm sorry, but I can't. Not unless you have some physical proof to back up these wild accusations.
Very well. If proof is what you want, then that's what you'll get. Graven, Chick-Tock requires authorization to upgrade my ID harness. Who can do that?
Normally, Gromna is the only one who can authorize such upgrades. But with the increased activity in the Queen's chambers, he remains there almost exclusively. I think we can fool Chick-Tock if I make my position sound important enough.
What should I say?
Tell him that your authorization comes from Graven, protege of Gromna, honorable assistant to Her Majesty. That should do it. Take my advice. That harness you're wearing won't get you past every security device. You might want to see the cyber technician for an upgrade.
A great machine of some sort. Its size alone speaks of untold power. I can barely see the ground through all the clouds. Who designed these robotics?
Gromna, honorable assistant to Her Majesty.
Where is he?
He is within the Queen's chambers. Since it is the eve of retribution, there is much preparation required. His plan must be executed perfectly.
Eve of retribution?
Are your memory pathways in need of service? The eve of retribution is known by us all. As of tomorrow, we will return to our rightful position as the dominating race of the planet. Under the guise of peace, we shall collect a debt that has been unpaid for decades.
What plan do you speak of?
Your memory banks must be fluctuating. Gromna has seen the error of his time's ways, and has come to aid us in our desire for revenge. With his gift of cybernetics, we shall once again rule the surface.
How will this gift aid us? Are we not mighty enough to conquer this Cyclops without them?
Without the speed of cybernetics, we would be vulnerable to the nuclear fire which the enemy controls, incinerated before we even reach the city. But with the aid of cybernetics, we will be swarming within the walls of the capital before their hands can even reach the launch buttons. The dawn will bring the age of the insectoid. It is inevitable.
I require my ID harness to be upgraded.
Upon whose authorization will I grant this procedure?
Graven, protege of Gromna, honorable assistant to Her Majesty.
Graven. Hold while I search my databanks for confirmation. My records indicate that Graven is the assistant to Gromna. However, his authorization alone is not enough. I will need to verify that you are of sufficient age to be placed within the Royal Guard. Proceed to limb scanner for positive age identification.
Some kind of scanning unit. The opening is far too small for my arm. The first...
Age requirements verified. Upgrade authorized. Step forward to have ID harness upgraded. Prepare for upgrade treatment.
Treatment? What treatment?
A treatment. They found a way to slow down the disease. It says here that a Dr. Morgan was ultimately responsible for developing the DNAV treatment. Didn't you study with the Dr. Morgan back in med school?
I was still a sophomore when he earned his doctorate.
Well, the treatment's called HOPE. It's supposed to decelerate the growth of the DNAV, almost doubling the lifespan of affected children.
The Aztecs found a way to survive the plague of Quetzalcoatl without conventional modern medicine. Well, hey, if Morgan is close to a cure, a true cure, then maybe he can use another set of hands. Maybe it's time to pack up here and go home.
Dizzy. Can't concentrate.